Hi guys, I'm Barbara Horejs and I will present you a quick run through very selected Neolithic phenomena between Western Asia and Europe. And should start now. Here we go. Yeah, so the entire topic is strongly related with my group at the Austrian Academy of Sciences, where we are aiming to produce new primary data from fieldwork such as service excavations and environmental studies, lots of associated material studies, and for sure lots of interdisciplinary scientific analysis to work on the main topics and the main changes between the late Pleisto, early Holocene, and around 3000, 2000 BC, and the sites where we are working in Western Asia and Europe are mapped here. And we are going, we have these topics like technologies, innovations, the changes of communication and exchange networks. And we're working on the one hand on a local scale, what we then embed in a broader contextualization, like the excavations of Çukurişi in Turkey on the left side, or in the Emirates on the right side. So the local developments are then contextualized in a super-regional context. Overall, when it comes to the Neolithic, the sites where we are working are not by accident located in different zones of the Neolithic dispersal. So from the core zone in Mesopotamia, there's a project in Iran, to the Aegean coast of Turkey, up to the Central Balkans, where we have just recently started new fieldwork. And also, generally speaking, it's, in my view, very important to contextualize the local environments into our approach. These are, again, three different examples to understand the availability of sources available for the hunter-gatherer and early farming communities. Yeah, and we use this approach to get a better picture on these social cultural developments and these particular and very substantial changes, like, for example, the establishment of new way of life, like villages. This is a Neolithic development that took place in very different ways in the world. And now let's come to some facts and data. So to unroll the Neolithic package here with some components, then you might identify as a substantial change that the first farmers did not bring everything of their Neolithic way of life during their moving into Europe with them. And this is one of the reasons why we have started a new field project in South Serbia, again, along one of the main corridors of this Neolithic dispersal, along the Morava Valley. And we identified the early and middle Neolithic site there and started to excavate it. It's with all these domesticates and plants. So this is all available. It's clear it's an early farming horizon. And we are doing the studies funded by FWF project at the moment in two ways to understand the new technologies and innovations that the pioneers brought with them or did not bring with them, and the development of house-based living along this corridor. And we were lucky. We just recently, just last year, we found a 8,000-year-old architectural remains and some other settlement phases. So we have a sequence now of early and middle Neolithic layers, and it turns out that they are building their houses in a very different way than what we know from Southwest Asia or the Aegean. So we started a HEAS pilot study co-funded by the HEAS seed grant together with Ron Pinhasi and his group to identify the different modes of living. So are we talking about mobile groups, semi-mobile groups, or fully sedentary groups? And this is still ongoing. And Laura Dietrich, a postdoc in my group, is in parallel way investigating the food processing and identified connections in her studies between the Central Balkans and Southwest Asia when it comes to food processing, but also differences in the practices. This is also an ongoing study she's going to present too. When it comes to the pottery and the technology of the pottery production, Claire Berg, the expert of in our team for pottery, worked out even a starchevaux koiné. So this is the name for the cultural horizon on the Balkans in the early Neolithic. And she could identify a super-regional network when it comes to the technology and the production of pottery. And the picture is a bit different when it comes to the lithics. So the results by Michael Brandl and Bogdana Milic provided data of comparable tools when it comes to typology, but to lots of differences when it comes to the technology of production or the resource management related with the production of lithic tools. And overall, one of the open questions is the impact of local hunter-gatherers for the Neolithization process in the entire region. So we have new evidence for Middle Paleolithic population, but we are totally lacking any Mesolithic population on the Balkans except the Danube corridor, like this famous example from Lepenski Vir. And the picture is again different when we look further to the south, to Southwest Asia, where for sure we have a lot of Mesolithic evidence mapped here with white dots in the Aegean, or Epipaleolithic evidence in Anatolia. And we have postulated a maritime colonization into that area by early farmers and pioneers. Yeah, and the resources and the particular sources like obsidian and jadeite are giving very strong hints that there are networks between early farmers settling on the land and fishing, forager, hunter-gatherer on the seaside. So the obsidian and jadeite were imported to the Aegean coast of Turkey and are giving us these strong indicators. And so to summarize that, I think we have good data and know the dispersal routes now of the Neolithization from the core zones into Europe, including also maritime route, but we are lacking lots of data. And when it comes to the many aspects of the projects, and it turns out that the entire Neolithization process is much more complex than expected. Yeah, if you're interested in more details, please have a look in our recent publications. They're available online and open access in our repository, together with all the other papers and books published in the last 10 years. And this brings me to my last slide, to thank my fantastic team. And I use this opportunity to congratulate Claire Berg and Sabina Svetschek, both recently awarded with a Marie Curie grant. Thank you guys for listening.